Hello, I'm Steve. Thank you for visiting the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for ideal patio comfort. Check out our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Please tap that like button if you find this video useful, as it helps others find our channel. Now let's get heating. Alright, so here we have this residential application. I received the floor plan as well as elevations, and you can see here this patio actually goes out further to the left here, but we're just going to concentrate on this outdoor living area here. And you can see here we have a fireplace, fan, doorway. This door swings into the inside the residence itself, and I think that's about it. Oh, we do have some recessed lighting that I have placed up here. Let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions. Overall dimensions I have at 12.4 to this edge here of the fireplace to the wall here, and then 16.7 from this wall out to the edge of the support post here. And we have a height of approximately 9'6" to the ceiling on the outside edge. It is sloped on the floor here itself. And then we also have a lower part of the beam structures here at 8'5". All right, let me go ahead and turn that off. Oh, I should mention that we do have the fan dimension at approximately 5 foot in diameter. And then the location of the recessed lighting I have at around 10'8". And I believe that's solely based on the fact that we have the rafter system up here, and so these joists that go across here at 16-inch centers, and I'm just assuming that that's a center position for these lights. Now it could be a little bit off, and that would be fine, as long as when we finally do the installation, or when it's the final decision is made, that we're within the clearances to combustible. Let's just go ahead and look at the clearance to combustible real quick. We have 18 inches from the edge of the heater itself out, and then same goes on the ends as well. And that 18 inches starts at the face of the heater, and then it's straight down to the floor. And so we do have about 10 inches that we can play with going to the left, or I wouldn't go any further to the right. In fact, I wanted to mention, just let me go ahead and put this back on here. I just want to mention the fact that 10'8" center to center on heater is a little far apart. Now this residence is in a very cold climate for the winter months. I believe it's in the 30s, mid 30s, somewhere around there. With two of these particular heaters. Now these are 6,000 watt Infratech electric heaters in a flush mount kit. These particular heaters at that temperature, just two, would probably not make all people comfortable. This would be solely to just extend the outdoor experience with regards to probably a little bit warmer temperatures than that. You would really need to put in a lot more units in order to make it comfortable for that type of temperature. So generally I find that people are more comfortable in the 50, mid 50s and up with a couple of electric heaters like this. And so just to be aware that this is just extending that period of time that you can enjoy the outdoors in this environment. All right, so let's go ahead and turn off those dimensions and go back into the heater itself. So we have the heater, we have the flush mount kit, and then inside we have a 1 hour 7/8 drywall finish that goes around all 5 sides, or 4 sides in the top rather. And again, if these joists here that are located in the positions that I have them, if they're a little bit over to the left, that'd be better, so that we can try to get the heaters as close to approximately 9 feet center to center as possible. That way you have a good overlapping of the heat rays in the center of the room, and we still are not going to interfere with the fan clearance here. So turn that off, and let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. Here we have, you can see that we have a pretty good coverage. Coverage, we're just missing a little bit out in the center here. The chair here is great. This one is pretty good, and same with this side and this side. Now I'm not sure if this is the actual setup that they'll have, So if the setting is to primarily use the center position, really would like to think about maybe making a smaller fan, moving these heaters in 16 inches each if that's possible, and that way you have a nice overlapping in the center of the space. Okay, so let me go ahead and talk about the finish of the flush mount frame here real quick. I'm going to turn off the ray for a second. So you can see here that the finish that I have right now is the flush mount frame is on the surface of the finished ceiling. This finished ceiling, I believe, is going to be combustible. So with that in mind, there's two different ways that you can actually accomplish this finish here. This is probably my second, well, there's only two ways of doing it, so this would be not my preferred method, but just wanted to show you how it looks. My preferred method would be something in the nature of if I was to push the heater behind the ceiling, and let's just say that the ceiling is a 1/2 inch height, or the wood finish is a 1/2 inch in its height. Then you can see here I have approximately a 1/2 inch or more from this edge of the vent holes here out to that finished edge, and it's true on this side as well, all around. And then what you'd have to do is there's little tabs inside of the flush mount frame. You'd have to take the heater itself and move it down to the same elevation as the finished height of the combustible surface, because now with this heater recessed a little bit, even if it's a 1/2 inch, you still have to deal with the clearances below the heater, which is here, you can see. And so moving it down to the same elevation as the ceiling is very important to meet those combustible clearances. All right, so that's that, and let's go ahead and turn the ray back on. I think that's about all I can say here. You could, like I said before, these are flush mount, finishes or installs. You could surface mount the heater and then possibly add an additional unit over here to make this area a little bit more comfortable, or just simply move the heaters as close as you can to that 18-inch clearance as the end of these fan blades as possible. If I was to move this heater, for instance, just 18 inches in, it actually, we can only go 10 inches here, so hold on one second. So 10 inches, and that still meets the clearances. You can see here, and then move this unit here 10 inches in. Then we're getting a little bit better overlapping here, but again, I'm not quite sure of how these joist systems are specifically placed, so that may or may not be possible with a flush mount finish. Let's just see here if we can see the crossover rays here are okay. I still would prefer to see a little bit more crossover. And then if we went with the dimensions here, you can see that this dimension is still just at that 9 feet center to center if we could do it this fashion. So all right, well, if you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information to designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Thank you very much for watching, and again, if you please would hit that like button. We don't monetize, we don't advertise, and the only way that YouTube will recognize our channel is by your gracious thumbs up. Thank you very much, and have a great day.